Hi, I'm Dr. Yvette Kennedy, and I'm the mother of four college grads, all who received scholarships, and three of them received the Gates Scholarship, the Gates Millennial Scholarship, which is a scholarship for 10 years through your doctoral degree if that's what you decide to do. Um, but I'm here today to talk to you about the NIL is real. And what the NIL is it's a change in the college rules that allows athletes to be able to get paid for their name, their image, and their likeness. So my husband and I were talking about this just yesterday, and I thought this was very, very, very interesting. And some of the statistics were like astounding. Okay, we were talking about a young man who had gotten $1 million contract for NIL. Well, $3 million for a NIL contract. And when we saw that, and this is for college football. So when we saw that, we said, wow, kids are not even going to want to actually go to college to learn. They're just going to want to go to college to play football and get the NIL because, hey, how many of us see $3 million in even our lifetime? So we were talking about it and we decided to do some research because our little black and brown boys have dreams. And as parents, we have dreams. If they are gifted and they do well in sports, we have dreams. We have dreams and we invest time and money in them going to like AAU clubs, athletic clubs, little league. We have all of those aspirations and we invest in them if they are athletically inclined. So also we allow them to play in middle school athletics and high school. And then if they're a high school star, wow, we are too excited. We're waiting for them to be recruited by the college teams. So, it's a good thing. It's a good thing if your child is athletically inclined, if they have those skills and those gifts, that's wonderful. So again, they become the high school stars on their team, and their aspirations are to go to college and get paid. Because since 2021, they have been able to do that since the NIL is now legal. Okay, so with that being said, though, we went and we looked at the statistics for these things to happen for somebody to get a $3 million NIL contract. Wow. I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot of money. Okay. So the stats say that of all high school football players, only 7%, only 7% get to play college ball. Now, 7% of high school players in football get to play college ball. Okay, so now of that 7%, only 2% get to go to D1 schools. Okay, so that 1 to 2% that go to D1 schools. And so what is important about the D1 schools is that they are actually the schools that provide the more lucrative NIL contracts, okay, or NIL offers. So that boils down to 0.02%, or 1 in 5,000 high school players that go to college get the NIL deal, a life-changing NIL deal. That leaves 4,999 that do not get it. Okay, so with that being the case, there are 39% college D1 football players that are black. There are 36 to 45% college D1 football players that are white. Now, that's kind of disproportionate because 13% of the population of the United States is black, whereas 39% are on the college D1 football teams. So there's a big discrepancy there, a big difference. Now, of that 39%, 85% aspire to go to the NFL after college. So that's a lot of people. 85% of that 39 expect to go to the NFL. Now, of the white counterpart, 39% of that 36 to 45% who are white plan to go to the NFL. Now, the NFL has a career average of less than 4 years. Okay? Now, with that career average of less than 4 years, guess what? Only 1.6% of college football players want or get to go to the NFL. So, with that being said, we did some more research, okay? And we have another thing that gives a much higher return on your investment and a sure way that your child can make a good career or have a good career. So that is reading, writing, reasoning, computing, and arithmetic. Education. Education. So with education, your child has 100% chance that what they learn will be lifelong career engagement. Okay? 100% chance of everything that they learn in education will allow them to use within their lifetime, throughout their lifetime. So I think that's a lot higher success ratio or a lot higher odds of doing something that is going to affect you lifelong than a 1.6% chance of getting into the NFL and a 0.02% of getting a life-changing NIL deal. Okay, so now, so what are you going to do? Are you going to abandon the football if you, since it's just a small percentage? No, 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 no. You're not going to do that. You're not going to abandon that for reading, writing, and arithmetic for education. Are you going to abandon the education, which is 100% return on your investment, that is going to affect you throughout your life? No, 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 no. That wouldn't be very smart at all. So what you're going to do is make your 100% return your primary goal. And then the 0.02% return, make that your secondary goal. But you can do both. You can do both, guys. Now, parents, I want you to know that education starts at birth. Yep, it starts at birth. And that's when our children learn the most. That's when they learn the most. So it starts when they're born. And how do you start educating them? Well, you talk to them, you cuddle them, you sing songs to them, you read to them, you do finger play with them. All of these things are learning for your child, okay? Now, when they get to be about, and they communicate with you. They communicate with you by maybe crying when they are hungry or when they are wet, and when they're sleepy. That's their type of communication with you. So with that being the case, it starts early. And it's early enough to where you don't even have to be concerned about the athletics until later in life. But if you give them a good start at the beginning, then, I mean, you've got a head start. Do you know that statistics say that people who don't teach their children to read and write before kindergarten, those children are already 3 years behind. Also, statistics say that if you just read to your child 11 minutes a day, to your 1 to 2 year old, if you just read to them 11 minutes a day, then guess what? They're more prepared to have good literal literacy skills when they're in the third grade. How about that? It just takes 11 minutes of your time. So this was pretty interesting to me to know that you can do both. You can do both, and you get a head start when you start when your children are infants and toddlers, between that time period of 0 to 3. So what she is, let's see. So what I suggest is when you first start with your child, okay? I'd say about 6 to 9 months, you can start teaching them their alphabets. Hi, Little Red. How are you? So you can teach them their alphabets. And this is what I have done. This puzzle is over this puzzle is over 10 years old, okay? And I have taught my children and my grandchildren. And if you remember when I first came on, I said that all of my children are college graduates. 3 of them received 10-year scholarships academically. And this is how it started. It all started with them learning their alphabets with this alphabet puzzle. Okay? So what I do is I keep the puzzle pieces. In a Ziploc bag. 10 years I'm having. And I have the child reach into the bag. You're teaching them several things with that. And I have them pull out a letter. When they pull out the letter, I guide them and show them. I show them what the letter is. I say A, and I tell them the sound that A makes. Like A, this is A. It says A. It says A, and it also says aw. So this is the letter A. And then I help them to put it into the space. Now, when we're doing this, we're on a flat surface with it laying down like this. So what I do is I will guide their finger. I'll take their pointer finger and tell them, this is your pointer finger. Let's take your pointer finger and slide it over. And when they slide it in, I give them praise. Oh, that's so good. And of course, they didn't slide it in by themselves. I'm helping them, but they do have their hand on the letter, okay? And they appreciate the praise. They get accustomed to that, and they learn. So they don't learn it overnight, but over the course of time, they learn the letters and they learn their letter sounds. Now, when we finish with the puzzle, we go through and sing the alphabet song. Then after the alphabet song, we take the pieces off and we put them back in the bag. You're teaching your child in the bag, okay? When they take the letter out, say take one out of the bag, and they learn out and in. So those, and they also learn how to put their toys away when they're finished playing. Now, these things, the puzzle pieces, I keep in a jar that was repurposed. And I just put the pieces back in there, and they're good for the next time. I set up my child's learning space so they know where everything is. The first time that you do the alphabet puzzle with them, you want to make sure that they are dry, they've been changed. You want to make sure that they've been fed, that they're not hungry, and you want to make sure that they are not sleepy. Okay? Now, if you have made sure of those three things, when you hold your baby, you're going to hold them on your lap while you're doing this. And when you hold them, if they don't want to do it, it's okay. If they cry, it's okay. But you're holding them gently, and you are the adult, so you gently help them put their hand in, even if they don't want to. You put it in, you pick it up, but they're still holding it with their hand, and you put it on the puzzle. Okay? Now, and you go through the whole thing. Once you finish, then you put them back up, you sing the song, and you put them back up. Now, it always happens this way. My grandchildren, my children may not want to do it the first day. Sometimes, maybe not even the second day. But by the third day, they are coming in and they are going to the area that has these, and they pull the puzzle out to do it too, because they know that that's what they're supposed to do. Because even when they did not want to do it, you did it with them anyway, and you were consistent with them. So that's the first step for getting your children 100% return on your investment in taking time with them to teach them to read. Okay? Now, I said learning starts from age 0. Okay? When your child is born, you sing lullabies to them. When you change their diaper, you can do hand movement things with them. One of the hand motion things that I do with my grands now, is I do Itsy Bitsy Spider. And I'm quite sure all of you know that. It's really simple. You put your hands like this. Itsy bitsy spider went up the water spout. Down came the rain and washed the spider out. And you have to be very animated. Out came the rain, out came the sun, and dried up all the rain. And the itsy bitsy spider went up the spout again. And then when you do the ba-bump, you just kind of tickle their tummy a little bit. Ba-bump, 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 ba-bump. And so that way they will, they pay attention, because when you're changing their diaper, you have their total attention. Okay? You're one-on-one. So you can do things like that. There's another one that you can do with their toes that says, this is the big toe. This little piggy went to market. This little piggy stayed home. This little piggy had roast beef. This little piggy had none. This little piggy cried, wee, 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 all the way home. And do it on both feet, and they love that too. They do. They'll just laugh at it. So with that, that's as much as I'm going to go over with today. I do want you to know that with that reading, it is very important. I am about to start story time, so subscribe so that you'll know the next time when I do it. And it's been great. So Odom Fit for Life asked me a question. When your girl wets, she's trying to communicate about athletics. Of course not. When your child wets, she has to use the bathroom. When she cries, when she wets, she is trying to tell you to change her. Okay? That's her communication with you. I'm sorry that you misunderstood what I was saying, but she's communicating with you, not about athletics, about you need to change her diaper. Okay. And let's see. This video is not cursed. All right. Okay. So all right, I'm just looking through the comments. Thank you. Thank you, Holly. um, All right. I think, hi, Giovanni, if you're still there. Okay. I think that everyone, okay. I hope that you've enjoyed this. I just couldn't keep it. I'm sorry I'm so late, but could not keep it because it was so important and it just goes right into what I am trying to do to teach you how to teach your child and the things that I have done that have been successful for my children and for my grandchildren. So again, if I said anything that you liked or that was good for you, please subscribe and I'll see you next time. Thank you.